The NFL kickoff rule that we discussed yesterday was not only voted on, but was overwhelmingly approved at the league meetings today. A rule change proposal needs an approval by 24 of 32 owners to pass, and it was passed 29-3. New Orleans Saints special teams coordinator Darren Rizzi, who worked closely on the proposal, said earlier today, "We feel this is a great day for the NFL. We've taken a play that's essentially been dying over the course of the last few years, in our opinion, and we revived it. It's the most significant on-field rule change for the NFL in years, and it's designed to reverse more than a decade of declining return rates and lowering concussion rates. It is largely the XFL kickoff rule. You remember that from the last couple of years, but with a little bit of tweaks. Talked about this yesterday. Kickoffs will still happen from the 35-yard line, but only the kicker will be in that area. The other 10 players on the kicking team will line up at the receiving team's 40-yard line. So they will be on the opposite side of midfield from the kicker, 25 yards forward of the football. The receiving team must have 9 of its 11 players in a 10-yard window. Is that right? 10-yard window? No, it's a 5-yard window between the 30 and the 35-yard line. So the kicking team will be lined up at the 40, and the receiving team's players, 9 of them, or at least 9 of them, must be in that window between the 35 and the 30-yard line. So 5 to 10 yards apart from where the kicking team is lined up. Everybody but the kicker. And none of those 19 or 20 players, depending on how the return is set up, can move until the ball either touches a player or hits the ground. So there's no, get ahead of steam, try and time your takeoff with the exact moment the ball is kicked, running kamikaze style down the field looking for the first person to just blow up. That's gone. There will be only a 5 to 10 yard runway, if you will, for the kicking team that's lined up at the 40. Also, there will be no touchbacks. I'm sorry, that's not correct. That's not correct. There will be touchbacks, but touchbacks will be marked at the 30-yard line. So a little bit of a change there. There will be no fair catches. If you catch the ball, you got to return it. And the XFL saw a 90% return rate on kicks in the 2 years that they had this rule in place. Rich McKay is the competition committee chairman, and he said, "We're in the business of creating an entertaining product and putting a product on the field that should be competitive in every moment. We had created a play that was no longer competitive, and our goal was to try to find a way to make that play competitive, and this was, in our opinion, our best option. Yes, it's a big change, but the time has come to make that change." So I think on the surface, I like this. I like that kick returns will be back. There's going to be pretty significant strategy that is involved in this. What do you guys think? I know we talked about this a little bit yesterday, but with 24 hours to let the idea marinate and now knowing that it's actually the rule, do you like this?
I like kickoff returns. I'll say that. We'll put it that way. I like kickoff returns. They are exciting plays. They can be game-changing plays. I like that. I don't like that surprise onside doesn't exist anymore.
There is no surprise onside kick. If you want an onside kick, you have to declare to the officials, and then you go back to the traditional kicking formation.
And that's something, as a Saints fan, one of the biggest plays in Saints history is the surprise onside in the Super Bowl. And so to know that you'll never see another moment like that, I don't know that I care for that as much. So I'm sure there's some good and some bad. And the first time that whoever returns a kick for the Saints for a touchdown, I'll probably be cheering and going, "What a great rule! Glad this is back."
Rashid Shaheed will be doing that.
Yes.
Pride of Weber State. But yeah,
I got a local question that ties into this, Borky. Does this raise potentially Tulu Griffin's value in the draft?
It has to. Guy was the best kick returner in college football over the past couple of years. If this rule is in place now, having a guy like that is invaluable to you. I think. Go ahead.
It's a 1-year implementation, but it's only 1 year because they want to give themselves the ability to tweak the rule if they see necessary changes that should be implemented after a full year of seeing it in action.
Yeah, roster construction is going to change a little bit. Cordero Patterson just signed a 2-year deal worth a lot of money with the Steelers because he can return kicks.
Mm-hmm.
I miss their traditional kickoff. I mean, I loved what that looked like at the start of games, but those are gone. I mean, that's the thing. I saw some reaction today that was like, "Oh, this is just another step to ruining football." It's like, guys, when is the last NFL kickoff you watched that was meaningful? They're not meaningful anymore. Nothing happens because the kickers just boot the ball through the end zone, and that's it. That's all they have to do. This incentivizes actual kickoff returns. It brings back a play to the game that has been rendered completely meaningless for years now. Now teams that are kicking off are incentivized to kick off towards a return, and you have to return the kick, basically, with few exceptions.
Who's more important now, the kicker or the return man?
Great question.
Thanks.
I mean, what a game changer a return man is, though. I mean, they've been, like I said, they've been rendered useless. They are useless now in today's game, and you can flip the field with, boom, just one play now. It dramatically changes things. Seeing the videos from the XFL, I mean, it's different, but at least in this case, they're bringing a play back to us instead of taking one away from us. And for whatever it's worth, some people love this. Some people think we're being too soft. But the XFL studies showed that the injuries on kickoffs plummeted doing it this way. Plummeted.
All right,
so they're
next
making
question.
the game safer.
Will college football follow? Kickers are not as good in college football. Not everybody's got a guy that has the ability to consistently boom the ball 5 to 7 yards deep in the end zone, much less kick it out of the back of the end zone just over and over and over. Sometimes when we see colleges trying directional kicks, the more likely outcome is the ball going out of bounds and being placed at the 35-yard line. So is this coming to college football? Do you think it will? Do you think it should? Would you like to see this come to college football?
Well, it's kind of what you just said, that the kickers aren't as good. So you see more returns in college football. And if your goal is to have more returns, I don't know that you need this rule in college to do it.
But there are also dual reasons.
Yeah.
And the other part of the reason was reduction of injuries, specifically concussions. And we see that on kickoffs in the college game. Not a ton, but we do see it. And we certainly know that the leaders of college football have given lip service to the idea of player safety. We've seen it with the targeting rule that has been in place for several years and continues to be controversial. Now, the NFL's targeting rule is different than college football's targeting rule. It's not the same. It's not enforced the same way. And so college football and the NFL are different, but in the name of player safety, if we get a couple of years of evidence that concussions have gone down significantly on kicking plays in the NFL, would that be enough for the college game to say, yeah, we need to bring this over as well? Is that a more likely reason for college to do it than we need more kick returns in the game?
Yes, that is the more likely reason. I hope it looks good. That's the next thing is, we got to see it in action, right? Before, luckily, the XFL has given us some degree of a visual. But if college is going to do this, I hope it looks good before they do,
Yeah. I agree.
But hey, that's right. There are fewer kickers that can just make that play meaningless in college. Now, they're out there, but there are fewer of them.